With Seek the Truth being a new addition to the Alton Towers Nemesis story, it leaves us wondering, who are Seek the Truth, and why are they against the Phalanx? And what is their goal? What we first see is Seek the Truth just being people who want to turn people against the Phalanx, and that's their goal. But I believe there's more to this, as obviously in the story of Nemesis, only recently has Nemesis become even more powerful. For example, as soon as it started showing different behavior, the Phalanx panicked and immediately closed Nemesis, not sure what to do. However, the Phalanx wished to keep their image, so instead they convinced the public that it's all right. And a way of doing this is by opening the new recommissioned facility, which is called Nemesis Subterra in the past, which many people remember. And they reopened it, and this, I believe, was just a way for them to try and make people feel safer and have trust in the Phalanx. And Seek the Truth appear to just be trying to warn people and turn them against the Phalanx before it's too late. However, I do not think that this is the full story of Seek the Truth, as in the 1994 Nemesis comic that was released to explain the Nemesis story, and forgive me for this because I don't actually know how it's pronounced, but it's about the Phalanx fighting these people called I believe, the Nemesis Cities or Cities, one of the two. I'm just going to call them Nemesis Cities because that's where I drilled into my brain. And it's basically just about them fighting, and in the end, Nemesis comes alive. Nemesis is active, like it is now, and it fights the Phalanx, and eventually, the Nemesis Cities end up dying. And as we do see them die in the comic, we also see them die in a separate video, also back in 1994, which was marketing and a teaser for Nemesis. It was about these people who were hypnotized to all come to the same spot to chant and awake the Nemesis monster. And once that Nemesis monster was awoken, it would feed on them. However, I'm not 100% sure those are the Nemesites, and I just found out that they're called the Nemesites. I apologize. But they're not necessarily the Nemesites, but I think that it would make sense for them to be, but I'm not 100% sure. But either if they are or not, it still links into my theory. There was also an incident where at a mine site, they found some sort of, I'm not sure what it is, some weird-looking, almost like toothpick kind of thing, which was then proven to be a warning of the Nemesis monster, as it was summoned, not summoned, but awoken many years ago.
It started as a routine excavation, but what was discovered was far from routine.
It was found on site by one of the workers. We thought it might mean something.
Yes, it does. It's a warning. Our earliest record is 700 years old, but the inscriptions indicate events which possibly precede 1,000 years BC. Analysis of the text reveals some form of cult worship, where local populations were hypnotized and drawn trance-like to a specific site. The site was almost certainly the home of a life form, an alien life form. Leaders of the people would chant the incantation here. This was intended to evoke the creature to appear before them.
And what would happen when the creature appeared?
It would feed.
I'd also like to point out the fact that the location that they go to in that video there is the same looking type location that we see in the comic, and we see the same image in the comic as we do in the video inside the book. And they also talk about how basically the same story as that man did in that video back in 1994, which pretty much confirms that they are both canon and relevant. This is why I think that Seek the Truth are like the Nemesites. And I think this because obviously we see how powerful Nemesis can be when it's being almost like summoned like and given all this worship. And obviously Nemesis is already up and now it's active, and I think this is all because Seek the Truth have, you know, been like worshipping it and turning people against the Phalanx, which I think only makes Nemesis more powerful. I think that Nemesis isn't just a physical form which needs to feed, but also like spiritually like. It feeds on people's worship towards it, if that makes sense. I might not be making much sense, but I hope you can get where I'm coming from. Seek the Truth are the real villains here, ever since it's looked like that the Phalanx have been in the wrong ever since we saw this dodgy spokesman talking in a menacing and weird way. And as it is dodgy, it's led us in the wrong direction, I think, because I'm not sure why they would want anything bad to happen to Nemesis. What it looks like to me, all they're doing is trying to keep it under control in a very mysterious way. And Seek the Truth have caused, well, the Phalanx spokesman to die and presumably be eaten here. And not just that, but straight afterwards we now see the eye open, and this is not like the normal eye. The normal eye is like, I believe it's greenish, but this isn't. This is different to what we've ever seen it. And it just tells me that it's more powerful than ever, and we know this. It's overtaken this presumably multi-million pound company, an organization which is supposed to be protecting the public and keeping Nemesis safe at the same time. And now we've seen it outsmart them, and it can't just do that automatically, because it could have done that all that time ago, which means something must have caused this. And my belief is that Seek the Truth caused this. Because, as I've said before a few times, Nemesis was stronger in the past when it was awoken by the Nemesites or those people back many centuries ago. It only makes sense to me that someone or some group has caused Nemesis to act like this. And I believe that the only explanation could be Seek the Truth, because there is no sign of Nemesites. And of course, Nemesis is going to be back with a vengeance, because for many years it's been tied down and powerless while people just watch it like an animal in the zoo. Now it's got this power of... It only makes sense that Nemesis now takes action like it did then. Like it did when it killed people, when it ate people.
Hidden for a millennium, discovered by man, and pinned down with steel. Now, you can take the ultimate challenge at Alton Towers in 1994. Ride